Okay, so I'm playing around with this stamp here. This is from the Winter Adventures stamp set, or the Alpine Winter Suite, if you have seen it. It's really cool, so I'm just kind of playing around with that. So I'm kind of playing with this, like I said, this stamp, but I've done it in all black. I'm not sure I like it in all black, because I want it kind of to look more like the DSP, where you kind of have the two-tone, you have the brown, and you have the green. So you have the brown, obviously, for the pine cones and the branch, and then the greenery. Whereas this stamp set, or sorry, this stamp is one solid piece, so it doesn't really allow you to ink it in multiple colors. So I was just kind of playing around to kind of see what I could do with that. I recently watched Jackie use a blender pen to take color off an unwanted area to stamp just a certain part of the image. Well, I don't have a blender pen, so I was kind of thinking, what could I use instead? So I've kind of played around, so let's take a look. I'm all about using what you have. So I stamped in Early Espresso first, so I have the brown. So let's do that. And I want to take off the greenery part. So what I did was I just took my chamois, mine's very dirty, and a Q-tip, and I just kind of got it a little bit wet there, and I'm just going to run the Q-tip over the greenery section and lift all that color off there. Being as careful as I can to just take the color off those greenery pieces. And we have one more over here. So I'm being very careful not to hit my pine cones. Okay, so that should be fairly good. And then I can't just dip that in in green because it's going to go on top of my pine cones. But what I do have is one of these little Stampin' Spots. I have a whole bunch of these because they came in paper pumpkins, but I don't regularly use these. I find them very inconvenient because they're small. But in this case, they actually are going to work in my advantage because they are small. So I've just taken Shaded Spruce. So I have my Stampin' Spot. And all I did was line it up so that I can ink right over here without hitting my pine cones or branch as much as possible. I'm going to get as close as I can there. Okay, so you see I have the green. And then I have one more green leaf or greenery in there, which I'm not going to be able to get with that little Stampin' Spot. So what I'm going to do is, again, take a Q-tip. Just going to dip it in the green. Okay. And then all I did was slide it over top of what I wanted. You can't do a big section at a time because your color doesn't go as far. But I just dip it multiple times until I get the coverage I'm looking for. And that looks good, I think. So now I have the green and the brown. And let's go ahead and stamp that down here. Oops, that did not work. I did not press that down far enough. So let's do that one more time. But you can see, regardless of the pine cone, I didn't press that down far enough. I didn't see it through there. You can see the different look that you have there. Okay, so let's try that one more time. I'm just going to clean this off. So we're starting with a fresh stamp. Okay. We're going to stamp in the brown. I'm going to take a Q-tip, stick it in my chamois, get it a little bit wet. Alright, and then I'm just going to carefully take that color off the greenery spots again, with being very careful not to touch my pine cones. This side is obviously easier to work with because it's more open than that little spot. But okay, so I think we've done very well with that. We're going to come back in with the little Stampin' Spot. Okay. Just going to ink it up. Just getting as close as I can. It's not perfect, that's okay. You can keep trying until you like it. Okay, so let's do the other spot here. I'm gonna take and just add some color. Maybe a water brush might work for this too, I'm not really sure. I just had Q-tips and I figured that might work, so I'd give it a try. Some color on there. I still want a little bit more than what's there. There we go. Yeah, now we're getting there. Still not as enough on there as I'd like it to be, so add a little bit more. Okay, there, we should be good now. Just set that aside. And we're gonna press down hard on this one this time. All right, so pick this up. Maybe, there we go. So this is the one that we just stamped, and you can see we have the pine cones and we have the greenery. So that's an alternative way for you to get dual ink colors on the same image. If you have any other tips or tricks, let me know. Drop them in the comments.